Welcome back, elevators. It's your girl B with Elevation 44. If you're new here, welcome. Make sure you hit that subscribe button below and that notification bell so you can stay up to date on all the latest videos and information coming your way. Today, as you can see, I'm out in nature. I'm trying to recharge. My allergies are really getting the best of me right now, and my energy feels pretty low because of it. So I'm out in nature trying to recharge, trying to get my juices, my battery juice back up. I talk about this in my previous videos, how nature has one of the highest vibrating energies and is a good way for you to boost your energy. So today, even though I'm not at my highest vibration, I wanted to still come and talk to you guys because the Aries full moon is on Sunday. I believe that is the 12th or the 13th? The 13th. October 13th is the Aries full moon. And I'm gonna do this a little bit differently because as I've done full moon videos in the past, I've done them mostly around manifestation and that type of stuff. But this time, I don't know, I feel like not everybody is in a place yet where manifestation is possible, because in order for manifestation to be possible, you have to really identify what you want. And before you can identify what you want, you have to identify who you are. And I think a lot of people aren't there yet, right? So I just wanted to dial back and then take these more into kind of a educational place on what can we do with certain lunar energy. So with the Aries full moon coming up, I just wanted to focus a little bit on the Aries lunar energy and what it's good for, how can you apply it to your life outside of just manifestation. Like, what can you use this energy for? Okay, so let's talk about some of the positive traits of what the Aries lunar energy will bring in. We're talking about spontaneity, right? You have this spontaneous burst. You have high energy usually during this time. You are more courageous. There is a high need for individuality and self-expression. This is a great time to just express who you truly are. It is also a great time for embracing change. And then I think the best thing about the Aries energy or lunar energy is the focus on new creative ideas or ventures. So this could be personal ventures or business ventures, just new projects and new ideas in general. So I think capitalizing on that is like the best of the Aries energy. Now, let's talk about, because we're always about balance here on this channel. So as I present you the positive aspects of the Aries lunar energy influence, I also want to give you the other side, which are some of the negative traits that Aries can bring in. So Aries can be quick-tempered. you can go from 0 to 100 real quick and not in the best way. Can be impatient, selfish, impulsive, okay? Be reckless and very aggressive. Aries is a cardinal sign, which means Aries is the first of its group of the fire signs, right? It's a fire sign and it's the first. So they are the starters. They are the starters of the fire signs. And what this means is Aries takes initiative. They have the courage to jump out there and jump into things and do things and be spontaneous and try new things and come up with new ideas. They're the trendsetters, right? In the sense that they're not afraid to put themselves out there and do their own individual thing. And sometimes the flip side of that can be, recklessness. Like the plan is not very well thought out. It's just like go, 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 go without any real thought to what am I doing here? And so that reckless aspect of it can really put yourself behind versus ahead. So We want to move very smartly with the Aries energy and with the positive influence, keeping in mind to not set ourselves up. So like I said before, Aries is a fire sign. So that means there's a lot of energy behind Aries, right? So with the Aries full moon, there's a lot of high energy coming in. Not only that, I also mentioned its mode is cardinal, which is the starter. It is the initiator, right? It's the sparker of everything. It is ruled by the planet Mars, and Mars is a planet of energy, movement, freedom, masculinity, action, and war. It's the pioneer, right? Again, going back to that starter, that cardinal aspect of what Aries is. Mars is a fiery planet, lots of high energy, lots of action, lots of movement, but there is an aggressive nature to it. Like I mentioned before, in the negative traits of Aries energy, the masculinity and that over aggression sometimes is something that can turn people off, is something that can, again, put you behind instead of putting you ahead. So as you work with the lunar energy coming in with Aries, you want to be mindful for situations, people, things that can trigger these types of aspects. The Aries energy is the best energy for taking action. And when you combine it with the full moon, it's a good time for identifying your goals. Like, what do you want, right? It's a good time for not necessarily jumping feet first into something without really thinking things through, but really just taking the time to identify, like, what do I want? Making a list of your goals and then making some actionable, another like subset list of actionable steps, like smaller steps that you can take to get towards your bigger goals. Aries rules the first house, and the first house represents is the self. It's the house of self. How do you express yourself, your individuality, how you present yourself to the world? It's all about yourself and your personality. Because it rules the first house, it's a good time for us to dive deeper into who we are as individuals, and how do we want to present ourselves? Who are we at the core? What do we love? What do we don't love? What are we aligned with? It's just a good opportunity for you to tackle all of those questions. Now, some of the rituals that can be done with the Aries lunar energy, a lot of rituals around fire. A new project blessing, if there's something that is on your mind and you've come up with this new idea and there's something that you want to do, you can take this energy at this time and pretty much use that energy to bless the new project. So how would you do a new project blessing? Okay, so the first thing you would do would be to cleanse your space. And then what you would want to do is write down a list of your intentions. And what you want to do when you write down your list of intentions is write it in a present tense form. Now, I know some of you may be thinking, well, I thought a new moon is when you're supposed to set your intentions. Yes, that is true. A new moon is a good time, and typically the time you would set your new intentions. But because Aries energy is all about the new ventures, the new ideas, new projects, creativity, that new spark, right? This is the full moon that you can actually utilize as well. This energy can be used to set new intentions. So don't get, wrapped up in like, oh my gosh, well, I thought it was only specifically for new moon energy. You have to kind of read beyond all of that. So a new project blessing could go something like this. Like I said, you can cleanse your space first. I would write a list of intentions, and what I want to do is write them in present tense. So what you would do is write it in present tense saying, I have X, Y, and Z. I have a successful toy business. I bring in $10,000 a month. Whatever you want to use as your inspiration, wherever you come up with, you want to write those lists of intentions down. It's important to describe it because in order for you to envision yourself already there, already having it, already doing it, already being it, to live in it mentally, it has to be descriptive. It has to be something that you can see, that you can feel, that you can already harness, right? And that's how we attract things to us in our lives, because we're already living in it. Even if we're not physically living in it, spiritually, mentally, we're already there. This is very important. After you've written your list of intentions, you want to date the top. And when you date the top, it's a way of you, let's say, I don't know, a couple weeks go by, a couple months go by, a year or two goes by, some time goes by. You get to come back and look at your list and see how many of these things you actually have called into your life and how long it took you to do so. You can be like, oh my gosh, just 6 months ago, here was where I was. I was just writing this list and I had none of these things. And here I am 6 months later, and this has all come into fruition in my life. So after you have made your initial list and you've dated it, the next thing I would do is come up with a secondary list. And this is not a list of intentions. This list that you're gonna make, this secondary list, is just some small actionable steps that you can take towards making those intention or those goals that you've listed on the main page come into fruition. So how can you make them happen? What are the steps that you need to take? What is something small? You don't even have to have the whole thing fleshed out, but what is one small step that you can take in that direction? So once you have your list of your intentions, and once you have your little secondary list of actionable steps that you can take towards those, what you want to do is, you don't want to make any moves yet. You want to hold on to it, and with the full moon energy, you want to meditate on it and tweak it, and continue to tweak it, even after the full moon, going down into the next new moon. So what you want to do is then from the 13th of October all the way until October 28th, I think is when the new moon in Scorpio is, you want to just take your list and continue to refine it. Make sure you're fleshing it out. Are these the things that I really want? Checking in with your spirit, meditating on it, making sure that you're going in the right direction. A lot of the times with that Aries energy, like I said, is that it'll make you want to go, do now without thinking, and you can be very reckless. And that's not what we want to utilize the energy for. We want to utilize the energy for that creative spark, that new idea, for that courage to, to step out there and put ourselves mentally in a better frame of mind, in a better space, to call these things into our life, to make ourselves more aligned with what we want and what we need. But we don't want to be foolish. We don't want to be reckless. We don't want to be impulsive, right? And so that is something that we always need to be keeping in mind. So while you have this list, you want to just meditate on it and refine it as much as possible until the next new moon. Okay, so I want to talk about some of the tarot cards that are associated with Aries energy, and hopefully by putting the tarot or weaving it back in here, it'll help you kind of understand the meaning of some of these cards as well. Just trying to organize here. Okay, so the Aries energy, if you want to meditate on any cards, the Two of Wands, the Three of Wands, and the Four of Wands are all Aries energy inspired. So the Two of Wands is about making decisions, stepping out, making a decision to step out and do something new, right? Getting away from the old and stepping into something new. But before you're stepping into something new, you're thinking about it. He's like, you see this guy standing here, he's thinking about like what's out there and trying to decide whether he wants to step out and do it. The Three of Wands is, he's left. He has made the decision. He has identified that he wants to do something, and this is what he's gonna do, and he doesn't know what lies ahead, but he stepped out and he's going to figure it out. And then the Four of Wands is all about, what is that? The happiness, like what's gonna make me happy. So if I didn't step out, make the decision to step out, then I wouldn't get to this. And so this is all about the happiness that I can only describe it as happiness, that fulfillment. This is that fulfillment, like yes, like this is possible. It's possible to be happy, doing and trying and doing something completely different, and just trusting myself to make that decision and step out there and having that courage that Aries brings. So these are 3 cards to keep in mind or meditate on with Aries, with the Aries full moon. And then I also want to bring the Queen of Wands. And I've talked about the Queen of Wands before. The Queen of Wands is a master of her energy. She's all about, she's self-serving in a lot of ways, which is kind of like an Aries. They're ruled by the first house, and so it's all about self, individuality, personality. So, you know, the Queen of Wands is a great representation of that. Then we also have the Emperor, and the Emperor, he is that masculine, authoritative, fatherly figure, and so that's kind of that masculine energy that kind of comes in and can be used to your advantage, because the Emperor is also someone who thinks very strategically, is someone who has the well-being of his people and others in mind, even though it's very, I don't want to say dominating. I don't want to say he's a dominating. He can be dominating, but I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for here. But the Emperor is also a good card to meditate on. And the Tower. The Tower is everything falling apart to be put back together the right way, right? Sometimes it's about knocking that house down so that you can relay the foundation the right way. Again, all about the new structure, the new foundations, what's not working, and what needs to fall, what needs to have that tower moment in our lives so that we can knock it all down and rebuild it the right way. So again, going back to that list of intentions, the new projects, the new ideas, you know, what is it are we aligning ourselves with? What do we want? And before that, who are we? Right? Before we can identify what do we want, who are we? And the Aries energy is perfect for that, being that it really focuses on your individuality and yourself. Okay, so that is all I have for you today. I hope that this gives you a little bit more insight into what you can do with Aries energy during the full moon. I hope that your efforts to write your new your intentions, you know, do your new project blessings, your candle magic, or anything else that you may want to do with the Aries energy. I hope that you're able to capitalize on this energy and really just make everything that you desire come into fruition. Like, don't forget, we're all magical beings, because we're spiritual beings having a human experience. We're spiritual first, right? We're spirits first, we're energy first in these avatar bodies. So don't forget your potential. Don't forget the magic that you can do. Don't limit yourself. You know, we are we are taught, we are programmed, we are conditioned to believe that the sky is the limit. There is no sky. That's pretty much my message to you. So I hope you have a great time with this full moon, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. And I forgot to say, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Okay, peace.